There is a discipline more demanding than speaking, more courageous than arguing, and more fruitful than proving your worth before others. It is the discipline of silence. Not the silence of indifference, nor the silence of fear, but the silence born from strength, a silence that does not crave to be seen or heard because it knows its value does not depend on applause. To focus only on yourself is not selfishness, it is wisdom. It is to recognize that the noise of the world cannot complete you, nor can it define you, nor can it steady you. The clamor of opinions is endless, but you are not called to answer every critic or chase every whisper. You are called to master yourself, and mastery requires quiet. There is a temptation in us all to scatter our attention, to compare our journey with the journeys of others, to waste strength measuring ourselves against shadows. But when you focus only on yourself, you begin to see clearly where your true battles are fought. They are not against your neighbor's success, nor your rival's praise, but against your own restlessness, your pride, your haste, your hunger for approval. To conquer these is to conquer the loudest enemies of peace. In silence, you hear them exposed. In silence, you find the tools to resist them. The world urges you to announce yourself constantly, to display progress, to broadcast victories, to justify failure. But the deepest growth does not shout. A tree does not argue its way into fruitfulness. It sinks its roots in silence. The seed does not publish its struggle in the soil. It breaks open, hidden from view. You too are invited to such a hidden strength. Focus only on yourself, not as the world teaches, through vanity and pride, but through patience, discipline, and clarity. In silence, you gain the ability to act without begging for recognition. In silence, you preserve the dignity that no applause can give and no mockery can take away. There is no greater freedom than this, to walk quietly, unmoved by the shifting noise of the crowd, attentive only to the work entrusted to your hands, the character being shaped within your soul, and the truth that grows stronger when it is not shouted but lived. To stay silent is to trust that your worth is not in what is declared, but in what is endured, what is refined, and what is steadily becoming unshakable within you. Silence is strength, not weakness. It guards your dignity and builds your inner foundation. Silence has always been misunderstood. The world interprets silence as retreat, as if you have nothing to say or no courage to speak. Yet in truth, silence is the highest demonstration of strength. It is restraint when provoked, patience when hurried, and clarity when confusion abounds. To remain silent in moments where pride urges you to answer back is not weakness. It is victory over the need to prove yourself. There is no greater power than to govern your tongue, for the tongue can enslave the soul when it rushes into quarrels and explanations. Silence allows dignity to remain untouched, for once words are spoken, they cannot be recalled, but what you hold remains under your control. In silence, you are not ignoring the world, but refusing to let the world dictate your spirit. When others speak to impress, you are free from that pressure, resting in the calm of self-possession. When others argue to be right, you are free from the need to be seen as superior. The one who has mastered silence has mastered self. And the one who has mastered self stands unshaken when storms of criticism rage. You discover that not every insult needs an answer, not every challenge deserves attention, not every misunderstanding requires correction. Silence keeps your energy preserved for what truly matters, for there is work within you too precious to be squandered on noise. The strength of silence is not passive. It is active self-control. It is intentional focus. It is the quiet authority of a soul that does not beg for validation but knows its worth. To embrace silence is to rise above the clamor of voices and opinions, to breathe freely in a world intoxicated by endless chatter. It is to declare, not with words but with discipline, that your peace is not for sale, your attention is not easily stolen, and your dignity cannot be lowered to the level of empty debates. Focus inward, not outward. Your greatest battles and victories are within, not in comparison with others. The temptation to measure life against others is a subtle thief. It robs you of peace and plants dissatisfaction where gratitude should grow. When your eyes are fixed outward, your heart is never still, for there will always be someone with more recognition, more possessions, more apparent success. To focus inward is to free yourself from this endless race and recognize that the only competitor you truly have is the person you were yesterday. Your real victories are not measured in applause, but in overcoming your impatience, your fear, your pride, your doubts. Each inward battle one shapes a character that cannot be bought, borrowed, or stolen. The noise of comparison blinds you to your own progress, while the discipline of focusing inward reveals just how far you have come and how much more potential waits to be unlocked. When you withdraw your gaze from the crowd, you begin to see the unique path before you. No two lives are identical, no two journeys are the same, and so to compare is to insult the work being crafted in you. The task is not to mirror another, but to refine what is within yourself. Focusing inward gives you clarity, for the answers you seek rarely lie in the chaos outside, but in the still voice within that whispers truth when you are quiet enough to hear it. When your strength is consumed by chasing others, you lose yourself, but when it is directed inward, you gain mastery of your own life. The foundation of greatness has never been built on comparison, but on concentration, on the steady pursuit of self-mastery, on the discipline of nurturing the unseen qualities that no one else can measure but you. To focus inward is to discover the reality that your greatest opponent is not the world, nor your rivals, nor your critics, but your own untamed thoughts and unguarded impulses. Victory over these is the truest success. Growth happens quietly like roots in the soil. True progress is unseen until it bears fruit. We live in a time that celebrates visibility, where progress is counted by what others can see, and worth is often mistaken for display. Yet the deepest truths of growth contradict this. Growth, the kind that transforms a life, often happens where no one is watching. The seed breaks open in silence beneath the soil, hidden from the eyes of the world, and yet this unseen breaking is the very moment of its destiny. So too, the soul must undergo hidden labor, the kind that is not posted, not announced, not praised. Patience matures in the silence of waiting. Strength deepens in the silence of struggle. Wisdom blossoms in the silence of reflection. The moments that shape you most profoundly are rarely accompanied by applause, and the victories most worth celebrating are those no one else notices. To embrace this truth is to be freed from the craving for recognition, for recognition is fleeting while true growth is enduring. Consider how rivers carve valleys not with noise, but with steady persistence. Consider how dawn arrives not with clamor, but with quiet light spreading across the horizon. In the same way, your growth need not announce itself to be real. To stay silent while you work, to stay hidden while you mature, is to honor the process and trust that the fruit will speak when the season is right. Silence is not stagnation, it is preparation. In quiet spaces, the roots go deeper, and only later does the tree stand taller. If you rush to display yourself before your roots are strong, the winds of life will topple you. But if you endure the hidden season, you will stand firm when storms come. Growth is not in the noise of declaration, but in the substance of transformation, the kind that others may not see until it shines unmistakably. To understand this is to resist the impatience of the world and embrace the slow, steady, unseen shaping that makes you unshakable when your time to stand arrives.